that finish was not good. I really don't know what to say. I just got done watching Hollywood Casino 400. The first half was good. The first half was pretty good. Then the last 40 laps was the faster car chasing the slower car in the race. The car, that was like 10 to 15 a majority of the race. And the faster car, the car to beat most of the day, Kevin Harvick, was basically, chasing Joey Logano for the win with 40 laps to go and couldn't pass because dirty error. Logano won the race by basically defending, but he played by NASCAR's rules. I am just done with this package. The racing has just been not great with this package overall. There have definitely been good races, with this 550 horsepower package. At least next year, we only have to deal with this package for 13 races, and we deal with the 750 horsepower package more for 23 races. But I am just sick and tired of this freaking package, man. Kevin Harvick had the better car. Probably should have won the race. Logano won it, though. He's locked into the championship 4, I guess. I'm not a happy fan of the race. We'll go through the whole review, but I just want to talk about this finish. I'm just ready to go to the next-gen car and waiting for that car now because the racing was just not good. It was just bad at the end of this race. Kevin Harvick clearly had the better car. Tried to go to the outside. In the corners, Logano gained 2 seconds because he gave him a freaking push. Like, that's so stupid. That's not racing. Let me make this really clear. Close racing does not make great racing. You don't need 10 cars in a freaking pack for it to be like, oh, this is good racing. If 2 cars are being and banging and battling for the win or battling for the lead, that is good racing right there. Being really close to the driver, that does not make the racing really, really good, okay? I just want to make that clear before you all say that. In any way, I want to also make this clear. Yes, I am not a big Joey Logano fan, so I'm not 100% happy Logano won the race. But the big reason I'm pissed off is not because Joey Logano won this race. The big reason I'm pissed off is the last 40 laps was a cat and mouse game. Like I said, Logano did what he had to do, but that was just awful to watch, especially for the fans watching probably at the track. They got to see a lot of your racing in first half. We'll talk about that as well, but man, I just thought that finish was just awful. It was just not a good finish. And like I said, because it is Joey Logano's going to the championship 4, yeah, my worst freaking nightmare. Just kidding, not my worst nightmare. I don't hate Logano as much as I used to, guys. A few years ago, I would have been saying, oh, this is all Logano because I'm mad because I'm Logano. No, I'm pissed off because the finish was just atrocious. It was just not very good. I don't know what else to tell you. The finish was just not that good, to be honest with you. And I don't know if it was because of colder temperatures outside in this race that made the race as crazy as it was. Because like I said, we did see side-by-side racing, but again, Aero played a big factor race. This actually was the coldest race in 5 years. It was super, super cold in this race. And again, if you like that race, the finish of that race, good for you. But in my personal opinion, that was not a good finish. That's what just frustrates me is that finish was just not that good. It really wasn't a great finish. But I would say majority of the race, if you enjoyed the battles and stuff for the lead and stuff, that was actually really fun to watch. So now, let's go ahead and talk about the racing, and we'll go ahead and talk about the playoff standings and just go through the race results as well. So Chase Elliott, who won the Charlotte Roval, would start on the pole, and he looked really, really strong in this race. We would see a lot of battles up front. The leader, for the most part, for the first half of this race, really can never get away. Once the leader only pulled like maybe 3 or 4 tenths on the restarts, and the restarts were really, really awesome to watch. Chase Elliott would dominate the majority of the early portion of this race before the competition caution came out. And then on the ensuing restart, William Byron decided to take 2 tires. He would take off on the early portions, and then Kevin Harvick, who was Chase Elliott's biggest threat for the majority of this race and one of the cars to beat early in the race, he would make the pass on Chase Elliott. During stage 1, we would find out that Chase Elliott would actually end up having radio issues. His radio wasn't working. He would have more of those radio issues throughout the evening and throughout the afternoon as well throughout this race. And meanwhile, Kurt Busch actually would end up getting a speeding penalty on the first pit stop. He would have to go to the back of the field. He had to drive his way back. He would actually drive his way back up to the front, I think before the end of stage 1. That was really impressive to watch. But coming off the final corner for the end of stage 1, it would go to Chase Elliott, hold off a hard-charging field, and he would win stage 1. Second place was Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin 3rd, Ryan Blaney 4th, Eric Jones ran really well at the beginning, finishes 5th, Alex Bowman 6th, Kevin Harvick 7th, Martin Truex Jr. 8th, Joey Logano 9th, and 10th place on that was Kyle Busch. On the ensuing restart, we would basically once again see kind of the same stuff for a majority of the stage, and we go green for a lot of race. We would see a really good battle, by the way, between Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney for a majority of that stage. The racing there was really, really good. And then Brad Keselowski would drive his way up to the front after Denny Hamlin decided to come down pit road. And Brad Keselowski would lead a few laps. He stayed out to try to get some extra points and probably try to gamble and take maybe 2 tires. During the green flag pit stops, only 4 cars had not pit at the time. Matt DiBenedetto, Corey LaJoie, I think maybe Ty Dillon, and someone else stayed out. Michael McDowell all stayed out. And then a very timely caution cut would come out when Matt Kenseth, who has been, seems like every week he's having an issue. Matt Kenseth would have an issue. He would get up and come up in front of Eric Jones, bringing out the caution. This would really change everything, at least we thought. But most of the cars had pitted, so really didn't change the complexion of this race. But Eric Jones, who was having a really, really strong day, kind of got screwed by Matt Kenseth coming up in him. And again, Matt Kenseth was running 27-28, and Eric Jones was having a really strong day, which is a great shame for Eric Jones because he was having a fabulous run in this race. We would go back racing on lap 146 with Denny Hamlin being the race leader. He would take off and hold off the rest of the hard charging field, and he would actually end up winning stage 2 in this race. Kevin Harvick finished 2nd, Ryan Blaney 3rd, Alex Bowman finished 4th in that stage, Chase Elliott 5th, Brad Keselowski 6th, Matty D 7th, Mark Truex Jr. 8th, Kurt Busch 9th, and Clint Bowyer finished 10th. Clint Bowyer was having a pretty strong run as well in his final race, so that was great to see. He actually got started up front and lead the field, not to the green, but lead the field for a second, as he was basically congratulating himself on a pretty successful career in NASCAR, and this was his hometown track. We would go back racing on lap 168, and we would see basically the same stuff. You know, Joey Logano actually would end up winning the race off pit road, and he basically got off. Well, he didn't. Did he win the race? No, Kyle Busch stayed out, and Joey Logano, he would end up taking only 2 tires, which he was a 10-15 place car, like I mentioned, throughout this race, but because he took 2 tires, he was able to get up to the front, and we see some really good racing between Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick up to this point. Meanwhile, at this point, it's starting to rain, by the way, Denny Hamlin would get into the wall on lap 182 or 183. He would have to come down pit road. He would go a lap down, but eventually he would get the free pass. Well, not the free pass, he would get the wave around and would get back up on the lead lap. And then one of the last cautions would come out on lap 199 with 68. Kurt Busch was starting to have engine problems on lap 163 in this race. And not 163, 193 in this race. He would fall all the way back and the engine would just go kaploo. Kurt Busch, at this point out, is going to have to win one of these upcoming races if he wants to make it to the Championship 4 and advance his way into the Championship 4. He'll have to win Martinsville or Texas or Martinsville, as that is the order of the championship. And then we go back racing on lap 206 with Kevin Harvick be the race leader. Kevin Harvick would basically check out from the race field. And then the final caution of the race will come with 43 laps to go in this race. Well, 47 to go, actually. Well, 45, 46 ago, whatever, how long it was. Tyler Reddick would end up getting to the outside wall, bringing out the final caution in the race. And on the pit road exchange, Joey Logano would win the race off pit road. And that was pretty much it from there. Ryan Blaney actually pushed him all the way up to the front. Meanwhile, there was a little bit of contact with Jimmy Johnson. I thought there was a caution to come out with 38 laps to go. But then the finish happened. Joey Logano held off Kevin Harvick, the faster car, and today scores his 3rd win of the year. First win, by the way, since Phoenix, so good for Logano there. Logano advances his way into the Championship 4. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the race results from this race, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the playoff standings, because with Logano winning today's race, this is going to change the playoff complexion. Joey Logano today won the race. Did not really have a great car, but he held off Kevin Harvick, so he gets to win, advances to Championship 4. Kevin Harvick, probably the best car in this race, probably should have won the race. Finished 2nd. Again, still had a really solid day. Got a lot of points. Great run for Kevin Harvick. Alex Bowman finished his 3rd. Strong run for Alex Bowman, but he's a lot of points down because of Logano's win. Brad Keselowski finished 4th. Kyle Busch finished 5th. Chase Elliott, despite having radio issues, probably having one of the strongest cars in this race, still finished 6th. He is below the cutoff line now by 7 points to my knowledge, but he is finishes 6th in today's race. Ryan Blaney finishes 7th. William Byron finishes 8th. Mark Truex Jr. finishes 9th. I thought Truex was going to run a little bit better today, to be honest. But I think the aero package really affected the outcome of this race. And Christopher Bell finishes 10th. You know, a broadcast really did not mention much about Christopher Bell, but Christopher Bell live this race was running top 10 and top 15 a majority of the day. He was running really, really well. So huge shout out to Christopher Bell on getting a top 10, maybe his final top 10, who really knows. But he gets a top 10. Great run for Christopher Bell. Austin Dillon finishes 11th. 12th place goes to Matt DiBenedetto. Matty D ran in top 10 quite a bit of the day as well. I think that caution really helped him get up front, but he did really well today. He finishes 12th. Eric Almirola finishes 13th. Cole Custer finishes 14th. Denny Hamlin battles back to 15th place finish. Not a bad finish considering with the tire issues he had at the end of the race. That would hurt him, but he still finished 15th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes 16th. John Nemechek finishes 17th. Bubba Wallace finishes 18th. 19th place goes to Michael McDowell, and 20th place goes to Eric Jones. Chris Buescher finishes 21st. 22nd place goes to Ryan Newman. 23rd, Corey LaJoie. 24th place goes to Ty Dillon. 25th, Tyler Reddick after his issues. 26th, Clint Boyer. I don't know what happened to Clint Boyer. He fell back at the end of this race. I don't know what happened to Clint. He was doing really well in this race. 27th, Daniel Suarez. 28th, Brendan Poole. 29th place goes to Ryan Preece. 30th, J.G. Ely. Jimmy Johnson, 31st. 32nd goes to James Davison. 33rd, Quinn Alf. 34th, Timmy Hill. 35th, Josh Blicky. 36th, Reed Sorensen. Joey Gase, 37th. 38th, Kurt Busch. 39th place goes to Chad Finchon. And 40th place goes to Matt Kenseth. I will be right back to take a look at the playoff standings for you guys. I'll be right back. All right, so let's take a look at the playoff standings. So Joey Logano, with his win today at Kansas, he has officially locked himself into the championship four. Kevin Harvick finishes is second in the points. He has 41 points above the cutoff line. Third place, Denny Hamlin. He's 20 points above the cutoff line. And fourth is Brad Keselowski, the final car in championship four, 8 points above the cutoff line. Chase Elliott is 8 points below Mark Truex Jr. 6 is 27 points below the cutoff line. 7th place in the points is Mark Truex Jr. He is currently 31 points below the cutoff line. And Kurt Busch is 8th place, 73 points below the cutoff line. In my honest opinion, Chase Elliott is the only one I really think can mathematically get in on points. He's got 2 races to make that up. Alex Bowman, he's probably going to have to win one of these 2 races, but I look at Martinsville maybe being an opportunity. Mark Truex Jr., he didn't have a fantastic race today. He is 7th right now. I think he could win Martinsville, though, and surprise and get into the championship four. And then Kurt Busch, he must win one of the 2 races. There's no option here. So those are your 8 drivers who are into the who are the 8 drivers still remaining for the championship. So now let's go through the review of this race and get out of here. So yeah, my honest opinion of the race, most of the race was pretty good. You got to see some side-by-side racing, some good racing. Restarts were great. But that finish, man, just tarnished this race and just killed the momentum for this race. And usually the racing at Kansas is really, really good, you know. But in general, I didn't think the race was fantastic today. I thought the race with the points was good, but it wasn't great. In my opinion, with the finish being impacting of this race, I'm going to give today's race a 6.5 out of 10. I'm not really giving it a high score. The finish really ruined this race. It would have probably been an 8 out of 10, but because of the finish, this race goes below to a 6. Actually, lower to a 6 out of 10 because that finish was really, really bad. It was just not good. 40 laps of just boringness and just getting tired of the blocking, just tired of it. Logano won the race. Anyway, congratulations to Joey Logano on winning today's Hollywood Casino 400 from Kansas International Speedway. Next race is Texas. Great. Going to Texas, another 1.5 miles. Fun freaking memes. Hopefully the last really bad race. And the final race we have with this 550 horsepower package. Thank freaking God. I'm tired of the 550 horsepower package. So anyway, that is going to be it for today's race review from Kansas International Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's race. How did you think of today's race? Did you think it was a good race or not? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.